Good morning and welcome back to our news update coming to you live from Warsaw. I'm Saria Strzemska. Today's general elections are decisive for the future geopolitical orientation of Moldova. Will the country stay on the path towards EU accession? Our correspondent Paweł Trzaskowski is on site in Chisinau. Good morning, Paweł. Welcome back. So are there any signs so far as to which way the vote might go? Any words from people leaving the polling station, perhaps?
Well, Sally, the polling stations that you can see behind me is actually in the outskirts of Chisinau, the capital of Moldova, and it's not really heavily attended. But it was attended earlier this morning by the country's president, Maia Sandu. And Maia Sandu is the founder of Party of Action and Solidarity, the pro-European party that has kept Moldova on a steady course towards European Union for the past 4 years, and the party is leading the polls ahead of was leading the polls ahead of today's elections. However, it was a target of Russian disinformation that is a part of a larger scheme coming from Moscow to sway the outcome of today's vote. This was acknowledged today also by Maia Sandu after she cast her vote. Please listen.
There is a lot at stake in these elections for our country. If Moldovans are strong enough, and despite the massive interference of Russia, will decide for themselves, Moldova will have the chance to continue to strengthen its democracy, to protect its peace, and to continue its EU integration path. If Moldovans will not mobilize enough, and if Russia's interference will impact significantly our elections, then Moldova might lose everything it has won, and this could create significant risks also for other countries like Ukraine, but also the EU countries in the region.
Maia Sandu's party's main opponent in today's vote is the Patriotic Bloc, a coalition of socialist and communist parties, 3 parties now, but there used to be 4. But one of them, the Heart of Moldova, was banned on Friday with the decision of the Central Electoral Commission. And the reason behind this ban was receiving illegal financing for a political campaign for Heart of Moldova. Sally, back to you.
Paweł Trzaskowski reporting from Chisinau. Thank you, much appreciated. Of course, we'll be going back to Paweł throughout the day as the voting progresses. And now let's move to Ukraine. Kyiv and neighbouring areas came under heavy drone and missile attack on Sunday in one of the biggest Russian attacks on the capital since the start of the war. At least 4 people were killed, 37 people were injured, but the number is expected to go up. Ukraine Air Defense reports that Russia likely used the Tu-95 bombers and MiG-31K bombers. Our correspondent Alex Kadier is on the ground in Kyiv and has the latest. Good morning, Alex, and welcome back. So can you bring us up to speed? I know it's a developing story, but please, could you give us an update?
Yeah, you're right to say those numbers are likely to rise. It has been a brutal and devastating night in Kyiv and across Ukraine. Of course, we've heard from President Zelensky in the last few moments talking about multiple cities, including Kyiv, Zaporizhia and Sumy and others targeted by the Russian Federation. And you can see behind me, simple residential buildings were hit. In that building behind me, very tragically, a 12-year-old girl lost her life. We heard reports that one of her neighbors tried to go in to rescue her, unfortunately unsuccessfully, and that the girl's mother has also been hospitalized in this attack. Of course, more than 4,000 buildings in this city destroyed since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. I was just speaking to the mayor of Kyiv a few moments ago, Vitaly Klitschko. He was talking to me about the fact that when Ukraine defends its skies, it doesn't just defend Ukraine, it also defends the rest of Europe. Let's have a listen.
It's very important, air defense. It's very important to help Ukraine because if we have the same values, if we're talking about freedom, unity around Ukraine is the key for peace and freedom. And thank you very much for air defense, but it's not enough. We have to be strong to defend our homeland, to defend the European Union, because the next target can be every country in Europe.
So that message by the mayor of Kyiv, this is not just about Ukraine's defense. Of course, this is also about a broader threat from the Russian Federation, as we have seen in this city time and again, night after night. The mayor of Kyiv also telling me that he sees this as psychological torture at the hands of the Russian armed forces, wanting to break the spirit of Ukrainians. Now, we heard again from President Zelensky, 500 kamikaze drones and 40 missiles fired across this country. That death toll of 4, of course, expected to rise. For now, this scene has been secure. The fire has been put out. The 12-year-old girl who perished here, her mother, of course, still in hospital, but the damage will be counted and the repairs will have to start after another devastating night in Ukraine. Sally.
Alex Kadir with the latest from Kyiv. Thank you for this, much appreciated. During a press conference following the NATO Military Committee summit in Riga, its chairman, Admiral Giuseppe Cavo Dragone, discussed what could happen if the US were to withdraw its presence from NATO's eastern flank.
First of all, we have in different, multiple situation guarantee that NATO, that US cares about NATO and they will not leave NATO alone. First of all, the further away you intercept the crisis, the better it is for the alliance, of course. So let's assume that it is from the Indo-Pacific, okay. And so we will witness a partial disengagement, but not to leave NATO alone, to just face other threats, which have impact on NATO too, by the way, with the connection we do have on today's geopolitical situation. So nothing wrong. I mean, the alliance, if it is a mature and strong alliance there, like we are after 76 years, we are going to fill the gap and just reshuffle everything and just make it happen. The thing is that, and if it will happen, it will be in a coordinated way, and we will do that together just to rebalance everything in the most efficient and effective way.
According to U.S. national security and foreign policy analyst Mark Toth, recent drone incursions into EU airspace are a Russian attempt to discourage Europe from assisting Ukraine. But according to the analyst, this tactic is not working.
It's a dual-purpose thing. One, they are trying to disrupt. Part of this is messaging to Europe. Stand down in Ukraine. Do not provide more assistance. Do not do any kind of Western Ukraine sky shield to interdict Russian drones, etc. They want that messaging to get across. Fortunately, it's not working. Europe rightly is saying, look, we're not going to tolerate this. Europe to date has implemented through NATO the Eastern Shield. The talks continue about how better to create a drone wall that was just announced by the EU Defense Commissioner yesterday and today, depending upon where you are in the world. And so all of those things are good. The second side of it is testing, right? When you conduct these kind of operations, whether they're cyber, taking down systems, et cetera, that guide and airplanes and the like, or jam the GPS systems that guide them in the air, all of those things serve a purpose. You learn lessons, you gather data, and you learn how to implement that if this turns more kinetic in the future. So it's really a little bit of two things. It's messaging, but it's also preparing for a future conflict if it comes to that.
Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó accused Croatia of trying to profit from the war in Ukraine by, quote, systematically raising transit fees for all deliveries. Zagreb denied the claim, reminding onlookers that Hungary is one of the few countries in the EU and NATO that still import Russian energy products.
Amidst energy discussions among EU and NATO allies, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó accused Croatia of looking to profit off the war in Ukraine by increasing transit costs for Hungary. Peter Szijjártó also claimed that Croatia's pipelines cannot ensure a safe supply of oil and gas to Hungary and Slovakia, prompting the two countries to purchase energy products from Russia.
No matter how much the Croatian government denies it, they are trying to profit from the war in Ukraine. Since the outbreak of the war, they've significantly increased their transit fees on oil deliveries through Croatia. And now they want to block us from buying Russian oil in order to secure a monopoly over Hungary and make even more money from us.
Croatian Foreign Minister Grlić Radman rejected the claim of his Hungarian counterpart, also adding fuel to the flame by shifting the profiteering accusation onto Budapest.
We firmly reject the unfounded accusations by Hungary's Foreign Minister Szijjártó labeling Croatia a war profiteer. In reality, Hungary profits from cheap Russian gas.
The Croatian Prime Minister Andrej Plenković also commented on the Hungarian Foreign Minister's claims, saying he rejects with indignation the false thesis of Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó that Croatia is a war profiteer.
A tragic stampede during a political rally in southern India claimed the lives of 36 people, including 8 children, and left more than 40 hospitalized. The incident occurred during an event led by actor-turned-politician Vijay, promoting his newly formed party.
The panic erupted amid a crowd of tens of thousands. While the exact cause remains unclear, reports suggest that the evacuation of over 30 people who fainted due to prolonged exposure to extreme heat may have triggered the chaos.
My brother's 2 children were there, 2 boys. The elder one passed away, the younger one is missing. My relatives, my sister-in-law is in the ICU.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep sorrow over the tragedy, calling it deeply saddening. Tamilaga Vetri Kazagam, a central-left regional party founded by Vijay, who is known mononymously and revered as a film icon, has quickly gained popularity. Its inaugural rally in October 2024 drew an estimated 800,000 attendees.
Residents of Barcelona are fighting back against over-tourism in the city, which they claim is destroying their neighborhoods. The latest protest was organized as a way to mark the UN World Tourism Day on Saturday.
The people of Barcelona have had enough of tourists overrunning their beloved city. Armed with water pistols, residents welcomed visitors with a wet volley, banners and chants, telling the tourists to go back where they came from.
We are here in Parque Güell today to stand in solidarity with the neighbors, the neighborhoods of Barcelona that cannot live anymore because gentrification and tourism is killing their neighborhoods, is killing their places. They cannot go and buy eggs around the corner because you are buying your souvenirs. Stop coming, leave the people alone. Tourism is killing Barcelona. Delete your booking.com account now.
The protest held on UN World Tourism Day is the latest in a string of demonstrations as Spain and other European countries try to juggle booming tourist industries with rising discontent among local population over the effects of mass tourism in popular cities.
Almost 200 spectators gathered for a truly one-of-a-kind annual event. On Saturday, they were allowed to watch a German seal sanctuary release 4 seals back into the wild. The seal sanctuary in Norddeich, Lower Saxony, has been caring for these marine mammals for over 40 years. Every year, the sanctuary rears between 100 and 180 orphaned common seals, releasing a portion of them into the North Sea once they're ready to live on their own. Once a year, the sanctuary lets spectators join the event to see said seals up close before they disappear into the depths of the sea.
Yeah.
Truly heartwarming images. Thank you for watching World News, and please stay tuned.